Hello and welcome once again to Guitar Whisperer headquarters, where we have another lovely Fender bass. There's been quite a few in recently, and they've all been different. This one is a P bass, obviously, but look at the colour, isn't that cool? I've never seen an orange P bass in the flesh before, I don't think. So that's exciting. It's a Mexican Precision Bass, pretty much brand new, or in as new condition. Belongs to a chap who runs a very nice studio, which is based not too far away from me. We're going to give it a proper setup and a restring, and it's going to have flats on it, posh labella ones, and I'm also going to chuck in a better piece of foam as well, because I think that could be better. And yeah, what a cool looking thing. Orange, that's a first for me. So let's have a look then. The fingerboard is super pale and a bit dry. We'll get some polymerizing oil on that in a bit, darken it up slightly. First fret action is a bit high, we can get that down slightly. Truss rod needs a bit more tension in there. There's too much relief there. And if I grab the string gauge, it is currently at 130 thou at the 12th fret, so that's too much. So I think first thing to do is take these strings off. These feel like ground wounds. I think they might be ground wounds. They don't feel entirely like flat wounds, and they don't feel like ground wounds. So we'll take these off and keep these safe for the customer. Oh yeah, the pickup. One half of it looks like it's not held up from underneath by anything, so it's sort of collapsing into the body, so we'll put some new foam under there as well. And do all the normal other stuff, like tightening everything up, make sure everything's lined up, that sort of thing. Yeah, and then it'll be good to go. Just checking the frets quickly with a rocker. There's a tiny bit of a noise there, but they're generally pretty flat and level. Which is good. The ones here are slightly high at the ends, so it looks like they haven't been seated properly. So I'll give them a reseating with my special hammer in a sec. But no, they're in good condition. Yeah, sorted. If you do need to reseat things, or hammer them in the first place properly, have a go at doing the two hammer thing, which is what I tend to do. One very soft hammer here, resting against the fret, and then this little mallet, which weighs not much at all, to be honest, to hit that. I tend to find you get a lot more control doing it that way. A little bit of Danish oil to treat the fingerboard because it's very pale and feels very dry. Lemon oil, to be honest, is not brilliant for this sort of thing, as it doesn't sink into the wood anywhere near as well as you might think. I know a lot of guitarists are obsessed with lemon oil. You see it in adverts all the time, so I've changed the strings and lemon oiled the fingerboard. And it does work as a cleaner. And it doesn't get into the wood in the same way that something like this Danish oil does. I'm going to wipe this on, leave it for a bit, and then buff it back with a clean, dry paper towel. Having a look at the pickups while the oil dries, and look, what shape is that? A rounded oblong. Different shape to your standard P-bass pickups. Also, there's no tape around the edges protecting the coils. I mean, that shouldn't be a problem. And the foam's a bit shit. So, I don't think we'll tear that foam off. We'll just fit some firmer foam to go underneath it, and then that should sort out the pickup angle issues. Eyeballed the saddles into roughly the right place as well, because they were approximately a mile out, and it must have been so out of tune whilst playing at the note. So we'll check it later on though with the tuner. So there we go. These are the strings that are going to be going on. These are Labella Deep Talking Bass from 1954, original vintage, perfectly balanced set. So these are flat wounds. I guess out of these and Thomas Steaks, these are the sorts of classic flat wound strings which give you a lovely old school tone. They do cost quite a bit, like 3 times as much as a standard set. But you'll never change them once you put them on, because they don't lose their tone over time like round bands do. So those are going on. They are quite a bit thicker than the ones that came off, which were like a standard round band gauge. So there will be truss rod tweaks and things like that to do. Fingerboard looks much nicer now. Put some extra foam under the pickups. Funnily enough, I was working on a very nice vintage 80s Japanese P-bass with flat wounds on a while back, and the pickups were basically level with the scratch plate. And it had been like that for years. God knows how we managed to play it, because it doesn't leave you anywhere to leave your thumb. And when I took the pickups out to see what was underneath them, there was just a piece of folded up kitchen towel like that, which didn't work, unsurprisingly. So that was a fairly easy fix to do. Rightio, let's get these new strings on very carefully. Measure 10 times, cut once, that sort of thing. I don't want to mess them up. Strings are on, and I had to widen out the slots in the nut slightly to accommodate them, because they're a fair bit thicker. And I adjusted the depth of the nut slots slightly as well, but they were pretty much there. It was just the low E really needed to. So big fat strings, more tension, so we had to add some truss rod tension to balance that out, to get the relief in the right place. I've just been setting the action as well. It's not quite as low as I'd like, but it is, I think, for a P bass with flats, it's good. It's really good, actually. It plays nice. I'm going to set the intonation now as well, and then I'll check the string height again, and then I'll check the pickup height, and then we should be more or less good to go. Right, we're done on this one. Did the setup with these big chunky strings. You're not really gonna shoot for a super low bass shredders kind of action, but it is pretty low, so that's nice. It's taken a while for it to settle in with the new amount of tension, because these things have considerably more tension than the ones that came off, and it may continue to settle in. So I'll tell the customer that if he has any further minor tweaks that need doing in a week or two, just to drop a bit around, and they'll do those on the spot. But it's done. It sounds lovely. Looks amazing. Look at that thing. And yeah, plays really nice with the flat wounds. And yeah, I've been very lucky recently with lots of nice basses coming in. I do like a nice bass. We had that Fender Jag in that I put the fancy pickup in. That lovely Olympic White jazz bass, and now this one. And there's another one turning up this afternoon, which is an old Japanese thing, which is going to need some modifications. So yeah, groovy basses all over the place, which I like. Thanks very much for watching this one though, and I'll see you for the next one.